Hey guys, Susanna here. Well, I'm back with my Jessie Chorley project, and as you can see, I've done quite a bit since I saw you last. I'm not quite sure, like it's been a while since I've done a video because I've been away in that time. But I thought I'd better pull my finger out and get this done because it needs to be handed in by August. So I'm going to put a button there, one in there. I'm on there. I've stitched some fabrics and bits and pieces down here, so I've done that side, and now I've got this pinned down and I want to do that side. So I'll just put these buttons aside. That's what I'll do. And this is a real nice pearl button, but I like the colour that's behind it. You get to see the colour behind it. I think is quite nice, which brings out the bit of that red. So got these pinned down. Got some of my old skeins, and I really like that. I want to use those two in there. Probably going to use some of that there. So I'll just proceed to stitch this down. Okay, there we go. And I might even zoom in a little bit and just stitch and chat. Oh, it is so cold in here. I've got my heater on, but I've got a quilt down under my legs because it's jolly freezing. Okay, so got bits and pieces out. So I thought I'll have that pinned down, and I've got, yeah, that's sharp enough. So what I've just done here, just done a back stitch and some, stitching with wool, and just stitched that down with a plain stitching. I really do like that. So I just thought a nice button, lace on one of them, button on the other. So I'll do a little bit of everything, I think. I'm doing wool along here, and I've got all the way up to the top, so I still need to do a bit more wool. And on the north, south, east, west, I want to couch it down with that, like I did with this guy here. Still quite lovely. Really like that piece. So I'll do that. What did I attach that down with? Okay, so in the meantime, I just got to put the word harmony on there. I don't know, just thought it fit, and wanted to put it down. I pinned it. Yeah, I think I have glued it in spots. Yep, there we go. So that's probably why it's sitting down. So they're the bits and pieces that I actually got from the Jessie's kit. So what I might do, I've got this thread, which is milliner's linen thread, and I'm going to stitch down that. Okay, I've got different projects going at the same time, so I'll just have that up. Thought I did do a knot. Oh no, I didn't. That might help. Yeah, I really love this piece. I think it is beautiful. So I mean, even if I put it in there and don't win people's choice, I'm still happy that I was able to work on it and do it. So it is pretty. Okay, the reason why I'm getting this thread is because it pretty well matches exactly. So I'm just going to be stitching it down so you can't really see it. And I'll just stitch as I try and get warm. It's been really cold, but it's been the sad part, coming back from beautiful spring overseas to coming back in time for winter. Yeah. I was going to go into a Jessie Chorley class when I was over there, but it just didn't work out, and I ended up cancelling and getting this piece. But if I ever get down there again, I'm planning a holiday in probably about 4 years with my husband. So I want him to go to Scotland so he can see some of his heritage of where his people were around back in the day. He's 6th generation Australian, but originally from Scotland. Okay. Big mess over there. I'm currently working on another project and filming in between, but I thought I better do some of this because it needs to get ready. So how are we all going? I asked that with the intent of the fact that you could answer back. Probably some of you will say we're fine. Getting ready for the next treasure hunt prompt. I've got all my bits and pieces ready, but I'll take that out. Yeah. But just not sure where we're going at this point. We'll just have to wait until the first few prompts to see where we're going. I'm finishing up my garden path project, down the garden path. I've still got little bits and pieces that I'm doing. So now that I've done the last prompt, which was the mushrooms, I'm just sort of finishing off pieces that, you know, we didn't get to finish, like my little, the formal garden piece that I had put in there. I still had to do a lot of stuff on there and some extra beading and bits and pieces, because I'm going to be hanging that up in the lounge room. I want it to look good. I want it to be finished. I don't want to go, okay, here we go, next project, and it doesn't get done properly. So see how it just, you can't even see the thread. It just matches so perfectly. Ugh. Ugh. Sniff, sniff. That's the winter, my nose is cold sniff. Get a bit quiet every now and again. Sorry guys, hope you can see this. Really do love the way it is coming along, and I like how with this project you can add like you add all the applique. You don't just have to do a lot of stitching, and it just creates it to be a little bit different, gives it colour and texture. Actually, probably while I'm here, I should stick the that in. Where is it? Because it comes in from the middle. I'll have to go from the back with a thick thread, so I might do that when I finish sewing this on. Okay. I'm currently working on, well, I've got to contact my son, and I'm working on him doing a video of my trip. I I've got all photos and a few little snippets of videos, and I just want to put them all together, and he's the editor. I'm shocking at doing that, so I don't know how long it'll be before I do it, but just so I've got a memory of my trip, and then I'll put it on my channel too as well. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long. I'm hoping no more than, 25-30 minutes. Yeah. I had a big whirlwind tour of London when I went to go to visit my friend in Notting Hill. We went down in the tube, which is like, the escalators are like that, 45-degree angle almost, and you really go quite low underneath. It's an amazing piece of engineering they've done, digging all out underneath London. And it's been around for a while. My friend's husband said, they used to come under here with the steam trains, and I'm like, wow, all that smoke. It's probably why the roof is all black. I think it was done in the Victorian era. Prince Albert, Victoria's husband, was quite the pioneer when it came to doing all the the modern stuff. Went to see the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I thought initially it was about, when she said we were going to go see that, it would be about Victoria and Albert, but it wasn't. It was all like a museum, all stuff that, he was a real believer of remembering things from the past and keeping them. So it's all sorts of stuff in there. Beautiful jewellery and statues and just all sorts of stuff. It was really, really lovely to have a look at, but so big you didn't get to see half of it. And it was really close to, was it Kensington Garden? No. Yeah, I think it was Kensington Garden, where Queen Victoria made this massive statue in memory of Prince Albert. It was so cute. It's a real love story of those two. It's so sad that he died so young. But it was beautiful. But I was so tired because I just walked in Paris, walked when I was at my brother's place, walking the dogs, and just you walk everywhere, and you just walk so much. I actually lost weight. Who loses weight when they go on holidays? Me. Which is not a bad thing, but my legs were killing me. I had a good leg and foot massage when I got back from my holiday. It was so good. One of those awesome little Asian places that do these massages, and he's like, oh, very tight, and I'm like, yep, it was very tight. But it was so worth it. It was just so lovely, and really nice catching up with friends and seeing where they lived in Notting Hill, and going to the Portobello Market. Got some nice fabric from there. And it was just really lovely doing all the touristy things, walking across Tower Bridge at night and the lights that were there. That was really nice. And seeing the Tower of London, which is this 1,000-year-old structure in the middle of in the middle of, you know, bustling modern London, which is really unusual. And where the moat used to be, there's all these gorgeous wildflowers. There's like a track and wildflowers, which is so pretty. Took a photo of it, but it really didn't do it justice, like they never do. That goes down there. Now, I was thinking of maybe stitching that with this fabric stuff as well, but it might be nice to do a bit of a contrast, either in that or in the blue. This is a nice, like what I've done on the bottom here, stitching it down a little bit. I might do that. Okay. Thread. Okay. Nice working on this piece while I'm thinking of my time in London, because that's where this came from. Jessie Chorley Studio. Okay. Now, I might start it here. And just do a few, doesn't need to be fancy, but more stitches. Going along, holding it down, do a few crosses on the top. I like that she leaves pieces, like bits here, so you can put in some of your own bits and pieces. It's sort of like a deliberate design, I think. Okay. Do a couple of little crosses. I like doing that. Always looks nice. About 3. And it incorporates the crosses down the bottom here. Adds to the design. Okay, do about 3 of them. That'll do me. And a couple more. These going around the corner. Do you like sewing with wool? Adds a good thick texture to it. And I might even embroider over that rose maybe. And it gets done pretty fast, which is good. Okay. In there. A little quiet when I get busy stitching. Sorry guys. Okay. Hold that down. And I might do some more crosses when I get to the other side. I'm wondering whether I stitch this down at the same time. I think I might. Might as well stitch him in. There we go. Hold that in. Better be careful, don't end up stitching the whole lot in. Okay. Okay, upside down, probably come back to this. And do a little more, unless I do something a little bit different. Okay, now we're gonna, actually I'll do some crosses down the bottom, I think, to balance it out a bit, because I've got them on that side. I really feel like I need to sort of get back into the swing of doing videos. And you've had some time off, it takes a little bit. Okay. And some days you're chattier than others. I think I need a coffee to get me a bit more chattier. I think this must be variegated because it's a little bit lighter on this side. Okay. Oh, that looks nice. I always like doing some crosses. Oop. Okay, that comes out sometimes a bit hard to get in. This seems a little bit more fluffier than some of my other wool. I think it's mohair. Okay. I'm going to need to come back in here. There we go. I think this is a part of the shirt, which is what I like. Utilising clues. Really like that look. It really is quite a bit thicker than using regular thread. Hopefully I'm in camera. I wouldn't mind coming back with doing some seed stitch around, but it's going to have to be off camera, and I might do it in like the creams, filling in bits and pieces. Okay. I'll come out. I'll probably stop just underneath there, I think. There we go. Okay. One thing I did note about this is that it comes undone, so I'm really going to have to do a good knot, because it does come undone on itself. Stick it through. There we go. So I might have to sew over that bit. Yeah, it definitely is being changed colour. Be nice to use some of this thread. I've had this in my stash for quite some time. They're good strong threads. So use some of this. And that's like what I've done here. I've just used thinner thread and I quite like the look of that. Need to stitch down the legs of the table. Oh, this is good sock. What I'll do is I'll do a quick running stitch underneath here, just so I know that that's been held down. Okay. Then just come up here. I'm like, am I going to do a deliberate that you can see it stitch or do a hidden one? I don't know. I might slip stitch it on and then come back over the top with a bit more of a visible stitch. Sort of see it a little bit. Because there's a visible stitch there, so I might do a running stitch along there, and you can sort of see this little slip stitch, which I don't mind. I hope this is not too boring for you guys. I am a bit quiet today, but it's not something that needs to sort of get done before the the competition. Got to get it done before the start of August, so I've still got a little while. What are we in? June, July? Yeah, got a little while. I'm sure I'll get it done before then. But since I'm doing it anyway, better turn the video on and do a sit and sew. Yeah, I kind of like that you can see it a little bit. Great thread. These old threads are really good. Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing that. You can probably see it. Maybe a small like slip stitch, made it going in a little bit more so that you can actually see it being held down. Don't mind that. So I think I need to go a little higher on there. I noticed that Jessie uses quite a lot of like this type of thread, like really thin thread, and does quite a lot of, you know, really close together stem stitch, which has a lovely effect. Okay. I might go back in between, do another lot, and then that way I can do another stitch on the seam. Quite like that you can sort of got that rough, slow stitchy look, which I quite like. Okay. Too short. Come back over. At least this way it's going to hold it down and won't have all these little threads hanging out everywhere. Okay. So I'll go on the next to this. And do not just do a backing stitch. Yeah. So you're highlighting the actual stitching that's there rather than disguising it. Pretty big back stitch, just a tad darker than what's already there. Okay. Yeah. Nice thread. Okay, well, once I finish this part, I may turn it off again and do some stitching behind the scenes. While I've got you, actually, I could probably show you what I've done on my is it down the garden path. I'm nearly done. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Sort of highlighting that a little bit. Where's my down the garden path? Here we go. Ugh. So that's what I've finished. Hopefully, just look. I'll have a look if you're in camera. Might go out a little bit. No, in there we go. So yeah, finished doing those, did that. Okay, doing this along here, finished doing those, and you can see on the back what I've done here. When I've done that little, you can't really sort of see it too much on there. I need to do these just so that they're held down, and I'm probably going to go along here, but I finally finished doing the beading and that, which looks rather lovely. And so I did go around that, and then with a nice thick, as I've got this, it's quite thick, so I went along there like that with that. Here's this, and then I've got to put that there, but that's one of the last things I'm going to do just before I hang it up, because it's quite solid. So there's my tree, my veggie patch, my gate, my path, and then the door, then the wildflowers, and then that was the glass house, and some of the pots, and then here's the top of the house down the garden path, which I'm going to be putting up on that. I thought it needs to have a stick rather than a reel, because it's like a garden path. So there you go. You've seen it pretty much done. I might like take individual photos and you know, of it close up, and then have it hanging. Oh, that's what I did as well. I went along here and did a couple of things to make it look more like a gate. I mean, like a fence and a gate, because that's what it is. So I really quite like how that has turned out. There you go, guys. Really long. So yeah, well, I'll catch you in the next video, which is probably, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I probably need to do a little bit more of this. I'm currently working on my ribbon embroidery for the month of July, and yeah, so I'll just probably do some of this, and then some of my still got my family stuff that I'm doing that I did in the month of May. Hope I'm making sense. Anyway, well, I will catch you later. I'm liking how this is looking. So cute. Do a bit of green and everything along there. So I'll catch you when I've done a little bit more, and then work together with you on it. Bye. Thanks for watching.